Hey there, Samuel here. So, a little bit of an unusual video today. It's gonna be one take, unscripted, because I just didn't have the time to make a properly planned video with scripts and everything prepared or like a vlog. Instead, I want to talk about why I haven't really been active, neither on YouTube nor on social media. You haven't really heard much about me since probably about 8 months ago, except for some occasional videos here and there. Now, don't worry, nothing bad is going on. Things are actually going quite well, but I've kind of started to face the reality of what it's actually like to run a startup. Because my initial idea was to vlog everything, make like a vlogomentary of me starting a business, showing you how it's really like unfiltered, the real experience and all of that. But that's just not possible. Back then, I was wondering like why has nobody really done that on YouTube, and I thought it was like an opportunity for me to be the first. But it's for a good reason. Anything that is really vloggable or like you can turn into a TV show like Silicon Valley, it's just not the real thing. That's just not how startups operate. And sure, occasionally at the very beginning, I worked for a week in Miami with my co-founder Emily, and we got some stuff done, and it was like visually nice. And there were some occasional trips where I could show you something actually happening, but that's really just maybe 2, 3, 4% of the time. Like over 95% of the time, it's really just me sitting at a computer, answering emails, solving problems. As a CEO, I'm kind of doing all the work that is currently the bottleneck of the company. So I always deal with whatever is the most urgent. I organize sales calls. I code. Like yesterday was Saturday. I was coding from like 10 a.m. until midnight. I was just sitting there and trying to be productive coding. That's really it. And there isn't really much to film there, right? Like unless you want to have a relaxing video of me coding and typing on my computer to help you focus more. I'm happy to do that at some point, but that's not really a vlog. It's not exciting. It's not gonna get views. It's probably you won't even watch it. I mean, why would you? It's just the real deal. And I mean that's totally fine because my company is right now in probably the most fun phase of a startup because we closed a pretty large pre-seed round about 8 months ago, and we still have more than a year of runway left. So financially speaking, we don't have to like worry or stress about it. And at the same time, we're still very early stage, very small. So things are fast, fun. I don't have to deal with a lot of dumb shit, bureaucracy, especially because we're in the US. These things are quite fast. Now, that being said, it made me think a little bit about how much sense does it actually make that I'm working so much, and what is really the good life work life balance in some way. Now, yesterday my roommate invited me to go to some fun event with friends and hang out with all these people, and I was like, no, I have to work. And it made me think a little bit. Should I have said yes? Should I have gone out and had fun instead of getting my work done? And I realized the following. Now, bear with me for a moment. Your overall life happiness is kind of an integral of your happiness over time. Like if this is time, this is your happiness. Sometimes you're happy, sometimes days are bad. If you kind of sum up all of this, you kind of get the overall happiness of your life. And in some way, your life is kind of an optimization game over these things, plus maybe some things that are bigger than you, maybe some bigger cause you want to make a change in the world, maybe you're religious, stuff like that. But it's really beyond these like external bigger things. It's really just an optimization game of being happy. But actions only impact what happens later in time. Like if you do something today, that doesn't change the past, it only changes the future. And if you're expected to live, let's say 90 years, actions that you take when you're super young, a child, they have a huge impact over possibly 80 years of your life. Whereas actions that you take like later on in your life, it doesn't really matter that much because they're not going to change or derail your life in significant ways, if you know what I mean. Now, if you're 63 years old, for example, and you're working your ass off because you want to get a promotion even though you're going to retire in 2 years, why? Right? It doesn't really make sense. You're going to make 10% more in like 2 years. But if you're 25 years old and you're working your ass off to get a promotion, you might just get 5% more in that year, but that's going to like accumulate over time, and it's going to make a huge impact over your entire career and be a real game changer. The point that I'm getting at here is the younger you are, the harder you should work. If you're older, you have family, and all these things, you should not be in a position that you have to work. you should have already gotten to a point where you're financially comfortable enough that, yes, you're going to do a job because you like that job, you're enjoying it, but you're not doing it for the money. You have work-life balance, you can spend time with your family, with your friends, you can kind of harness the fruits or the seeds that you planted before by working hard when you were younger. I don't think anybody ever thinks of, this unhappy workaholic as being 20 years old. But nobody thinks about that, right? It's always a picture that you have in your mind of an older person with family, let's say 40s, 50s, 60s, etc., who is neglecting them for work. That just doesn't really make a lot of sense. But when you're 20 years old, there's no reason why you wouldn't work your ass off. So I know that most of my viewers are between 15 and 35, and 90% of you. In that age range, you should be working your ass off because you're probably not financially stable yet. You don't yet have financial freedom because that's really what you want to work towards, that you can do whatever you want to. And if you don't want to work, you don't have to. But you should have that flexibility in life. And I think I kind of followed that advice throughout my life without really being aware of it. Because when I was 15 years old in high school, I worked day and night. I didn't go out with friends, almost never. I just worked. And I don't actually regret it. I mean, sure, I maybe would have a few more friends, but in the end of the day, you should have a small number of friends that are really important to you, as opposed to being friends with 30, 40, 50 people, or like being friendly, one would call that. So I'm happy that I worked my ass off. Now, as I get older, I kind of take off more time. Now, my idea of having a relaxed life is that, once every 2 weeks, I take a Sunday off and have some fun. That's like a really privilege for me that I think I couldn't have afforded when I was 15. Now that I'm 28, turning 29 this month, I think it's fine to occasionally have a little bit of fun like every 2 weeks, but I still haven't made it on an objective scale. For 29 years old, I'm probably, you would say, successful, MIT, startup and all of that stuff, but that's like on a relative scale for a 29-year-old. On an absolute scale, I'm not rich, haven't built a huge company yet, don't have a family, haven't really built anything, objectively important, which is fine. It's like, it's all about the potential that you have until you convert that potential into something real. And I think until I've converted that potential into something real, I should still work my ass off. And I think so should you. If you're in the age of 15 to 35, there's no reason not to work really, 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 really hard. Take care of your body. Again, how much you take care of it now will impact your whole life, maybe like the remaining 60, 70 years of your life, as opposed to once you're older, it will only impact the last years of your life. And yeah, hopefully you took something away from this video. Speaking of working really hard, Brilliant.org kindly agreed to sponsor this video. It's a great place for you to really start grinding and get stuff done. Brilliant is a platform for learning by doing, with thousands of interactive lessons in math, data science, AI, and others. I've always been a fan of kind of hacking your way through life using data science and math and all sorts of tricks that other people can't. Now, a good place to get started with this is on Brilliant's case study called Going Viral on X. Right, so this is how it looks like. We're going to start here with influence probabilities. Now, as you can see, all of this is super interactive. We have data from US Congress men and women and about their tweets, including the probabilities of retweeting. Now, that's pretty simple, but the course goes on into teaching you actually how to leverage data for building tweets, tagging people, hashtags, etc. to go viral. This now continues to go into a whole spread simulator, essentially an entire network showing you how all these different people are connected together, and how all of this impacts the likelihood of someone retweeting or talking to each other. There we go. To try everything Brilliant has to offer free of charge for 30 days, just go to brilliant.org/SamuelBosch or click on the link in the description below. Also, you'll get 20% off their annual premium subscription. If you have some video requests that you would like to see on my channel, let me know in the comment section down below. Thanks for watching. Take care.